universal justice. Balance scale, divine righteous judgment. Not be the black man time. Fuck if you trust this, you gonna feel the positive vibe. Oh, we gon' bust quick. How do you filthy as lies? Young black people need to learn who you are and understand why you're light skinned, brown and dark. And always know where the sun get the heat to stay hot. Stand firm in your square and you never will stop. Rock out with your cock out and never drop out. You be the masters of subconscious ultra builder, no doubt. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound. You build a planet real fast, ultra smooth with no sound.
Sons and sight, katana swore be my call. I fast to meditate upon that ass like for a hall. Assimilate your fate along the brigade.
You cannot go around me and through me to get to my father law, but he and I are one and the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect.
Yo, peace. Yo, man, we up in the building, man. Peace to everybody, man. Peace to all of the people out there that's tuning in with us, man. All of the positive people. It's the God of Earth Hour podcast. Y'all know what it is, man. I appreciate y'all for bearing with me. We was having a few little tech issues, man, but we got them all squared away. So we all up in here, man. Me, my brother IC. I got a super special guest up in here with y'all, man. My great big brother, man. Divine Understanding, Born of Law, man. We in here ready to rock it. And we got a good little science that we building on today, man. So if you in the comments, man, no matter what channel you tuning on with us, man. If you on Instagram, if you on YouTube. Make sure you show us some love in the comments, man. Make sure you drop some questions, man, because we about to go all the way through it. We got a real interesting subject today. You know, a subject that people, I don't want to say people, it is almost like a hot button topic, right? Almost like something that's, I don't want to say controversial, but to those that's not in depth and study, sometimes it may not be the easiest concept to understand, right? So, first and foremost, you know, you like we always do when the gods come together, man. We're gonna go through it. For anybody who don't know me, if this is your first time tuning in, my name is Minister Freedom Allah, man. I'm one of the hosts from here in Mecca, man, on the God on Earth Hour podcast. IC, man, you want to introduce yourself, man? You want to bring
peace to everybody? Peace. My name is IC Allah. You know, I'm right here in Mecca with the God, Minister Freedom, and I want to say welcome to everybody. You know, get welcome for a good show. You know. Welcome to God, Divine. You know.
You know I'm about to bring that. You know, if anybody who don't know you, even though they definitely do. Peace, God.
Peace. You know, wisdom, knowledge. Who's the founder, fun like and air like repels? You know, I want to open it like that. With,
word. I like that.
The universe and all that, right? So, divine understanding, born alive, you know. I'm here.
I know that's right. Peace, God. Peace to the God,
Peace
man.
To the God.
It's a pleasure to have you, man.
Welcome, God.
Welcome, man. Yeah. You know, I've been begging and looking forward to, you know, getting some time to get you on here, man, for a minute, God. So it's definitely definitely a pleasure.
That Justice Orange trying to get that.
Yeah.
Like the 9 qualified, so.
No. But look, man, we gonna jump right into it, like you said. To be, you know, wisdom, knowledge today is mathematics. When you wise with your knowledge, man, that's able to be able to, you know, do the knowledge. You know when to speak, when not to speak. Those with knowledge know some knowledge ain't for everybody. Some knowledge is for the right people, and how. Truth that's out of season will never prosper, man. So being wise with your knowledge, be wise with what you got, man. So that's how I can see that, man. Peace to everybody in the chat, man. Getting some pieces in there for you.
Peace.
I see anything you want to add on to that, guy, onto the math before we go right into the subject.
Well, you know, today's mathematics being wisdom, knowledge, dealing with the fact that wisdom is the show and knowledge is the know. So just to keep it simple, you got to show what you know. You know, you gotta be manifesting your knowledge. That's today's mathematics. You know, we're gonna keep it simple. Show what you know.
Oh, that's right, God. I gotta give you the hit the horn for that. Peace to the God, man. I like that. God, anything you wanna add on to that, man? Before we go into top.
Original man, right? Who was a scientist by the name of Yacub. born 20 miles outside the holy city of Mecca in the year 8,400. That's when we see the breakover point from that point to the next point, and then you got, because the first break is from there to 9,000, and then the next hit from 9,000 to 15,000, and then the next hit from 15,000, 15,000, 16, 15,000, 20. The next big hit is 15,000, 50, then 15,000, 55. So from there, you can make any calculation that you need to make, up or down. You could go back from 24,000 cycle. This is the 24th cycle in the first degree. Who made the Holy Quran or Bible, right? So each Holy Quran or Bible is really like the 12 Jews or the constellations, because it's a 25,000 year, 2,083.33 years per constellation for the sun, up to 2,160, depending on the equinox and the precision and things of that nature. But you get the point that I'm making is that when they traveling through each constellation, and we traveling through each 2,000 year hit, then you hit the 25,000 years or 24,896 years. We collecting that together to make a 25,000 year cycle. And so in there, that's why you see we only had 15. We had 15 inside of that 25,000. When this is the 24th cycle. This isn't like something that isn't sitting right there in the first degree and when the change. Now, it might not be as plain, but it says thus. Every time his history lasts 25,000 years, he renews it for another 25,000 years. I didn't say that, Elijah.
I know that's right, God. Man, you, you went. I should have had you on here last week. Last episode. We was talking about the 25,000 year history. I said, man, the God went all over the. He went to the moon and back on there. Oh, that boy, I can see that.
But well, you know, you're talking about Yacub, and you automatically going to go into the calendar, right?
True indeed, God. Well, and what I always say, God, to people, because you know I always get that, and you know I did the whole little thing, a couple little debates about Yacub and just the science. What I always say is that not only do we have the archaeological evidence and the science evidence from other cultures, and you have the genetic evidence, the biological evidence. You know, the evidence down to the very molecular level that supports the teachings, and that, you know, the European or the Caucasian race, this is something that is a completely isolated population. And them some of the things that we want to go through, and I got a couple little points that I was gonna share. I see anything you want to add on to that. So, you know, and just like you said, God, not only going into the calendar, but you got a whole lot of ways, God, and that's what we want. That's what I wanted to build on. Now, in terms of the genetic evidence, God, because we know the lessons say that the colored man is grafted. What would you say to that point in terms of, like, how do you show and prove a grafted man?
That's me or the God?
No. You God, you divine.
Oh, me?
Yeah. Please.
I'm not exactly sure what you mean, and how do I show he's a grafted man?
I wouldn't say show a grafted man, but I mean just
you mean like how would you prove that he came from us and we didn't come from him?
Absolutely. I know that's right.
That would be easy to prove. Yeah, that's easy to prove because he can't absorb you, but you can absorb him. You know that if. And we don't have to do an experiment on it. The experiments have already been done. They made a law called miscegenation and amalgamation. They made that rule up because European children, when they're born, when all babies are born, right, they're naked. So, you know, it's different to look at a baby naked than it is a grown person naked. They have the shame of themselves. Babies don't have the shame of themselves, and people, when they're looking at babies, don't feel the shame of themselves from looking at a baby. But what you can see is all of the features. And so the first thing you'll notice is that all of the children on earth, except the Europeans' children, well, I should put it the other way, it's easier to see it. The European children will be the only children with pink nipples and pink genitalia, and everybody else will have some kind of shade. That's what I mean to say. And so when you start looking at things like that, you start looking at the albinos versus, I don't know, do they have something that's equal to us making albino besides if they made an albino? They don't make the opposite of an albino, do they? Have you ever seen them make a jet black one? Because to do the opposite.
Damn.
Wouldn't they have to be and do that? If we can make that. I'm just wondering. See, these are little questions that after you got the wisdom built to the 40 degree, well, it could have been the 88 degree too if you was going to 120, but I just don't use it that way once I saw that everybody didn't have it the same way. But Bourne told me, and so did Original, and then they said, nah, but we should all catch up with each other by the time we hit what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes. So if we all catch up with each other by the time we hit what makes rain, hail, snow, and earthquake, then 88 and 28 would be the same, which would also be man, M-A-N. I mean, if you went there. But anyway, the point I'm making is there's nurses, there's cremators still. There's doctors. Are you telling me that these doctors today ain't kind of practicing that? Wisdom builders to a degree, they seem to be doing that. Now, only those who know 120 would be saying yes, they are.
Right.
And that's why we say yes, they are. But even the unconscious could say, you're telling me that your doctor, and that's the ones who know, your doctor, today's doctors are petroleum-based and not holistic-based. They're pharmaceutical-based, which makes them what they see as the symptom, they go at that. And then when they do from there, I'm going to take you where I want you to see what I'm talking about. So when you go from there to the pharmaceuticals, it automatically makes you go into the food. And when you see agriculture, you start seeing the grafting process of why they like to graft things like they grafted.
True indeed, God. No doubt. I could definitely see that, God. And you know, that's why one thing that I always think about, like I was talking about, is not only being able to see them in the real world, being able to see it all, being able to see that same science, because I think the original man, in his own way, you know, all around the world, wrote on in their history what had happened and what was the science. You know what I'm saying? In the history of the origin of this other man. You know what I'm saying? Like where you get Sheikh Etta Diop, here you go, Power. Sheikh Etta Diop talked about in his book about what the people of Kemet talked about, where they spoke about the Tamahu or the Tamid man. Let me see if I can share that. Yeah, you can see it. You can see the where I'm at.
Yeah, you familiar with that god, the Tamahu, in the ancient Kemetic hieroglyphs? Not the hieroglyphics.
Yeah, here it goes. So
the metal netter.
And Sheikh Etta Diop said in the valley of Bedan el Muluk in Thebes, he was quoted saying, "Thus we have before our eyes the image of the various races known to the Egyptians. The shepherd belonged to the 4 distinct races. The first one, closest to God, has a dark red color. The legend disintegrates the species Ra'in Na'aron, But it's a specific point. I'm gonna go down a little bit further in the paragraph where it talk about a white-skinned man, nose straight, blue eyes, blonde or reddish hair, slender and clad in hairier skin and very savage tattooed on various parts of his body. He is called the Tamahu. And this is from Shank Etta Diop, The Origin of Civilization, Myth or Reality.
You got a picture? You got a picture of the reliefs? Where they show the four? Yeah.
Yeah,
right
this
there.
picture right here.
Yeah.
Yep. So remember, this was from this brother here. He wrote a letter. He actually took this from that inscription from Thebes, and he described that same thing that Sheikh Anta Diop described, where she was talking about the Tama. Well, this was the four people that they described, the Tama.
Right, and the fourth man was the Tamahu.
Yeah,
what about that book? It's talking about the caveman. I can't remember the name.
I see. Anything you want to add on to that, God, to what we was going through?
No.
Yeah, there's this book.
Go ahead, God.
You talking to me?
No. Well, I thought you was finna mention the name of the book. But however, in regards to that, that
I'm getting ready to look over here and tell you what it is.
Right, but but in regards to that, that's one of the things that I always saw that drew a parallel to the whole science of Yacub and his made man. In the ancient writings.
And even that's where I was going, God, just in terms of, like you said, the ancient writings, man, because I think the science is to understand. Even John Bright in his book A History of Israel, he quote a Mesopotamian text from the 18th century called the Shangar Bazaar, and I'm gonna show that text here in a little bit, where he called the name of the Hyksos chief. The white devils, the Typhonians, and the leader of the Hyksos, he called him El Yacub.
Yeah.
All right. Just to add on to that, which really that's not what I really use when I blow their ass out the frame. But I mean that Iceman inheritance, prehistoric sources of Western man's racism, sexism, and aggression. Yeah. That's a good one if you want to go there.
Yeah,
and it has a introduction by John Henry Clark. Now you can go that way with the academia and whatever the case may be. But what I use is what's going on to us as a people. Simple little easy shit to figure out if that's the devil or not. Because see, at the end of the day, you grafted ass, you ain't grafted, whatever, you're arguing back and forth, Yacub, whatever. You're trying to get off the subject that he grafted as the devil. See, don't like I wasn't grafted. You see what I'm saying? So now, once we figure out he was grafted into what? Devil, we don't even need to go to Wisdom Bill. We could have just stayed at Wisdom and wore his ass out right there. Because he can't prove to nobody on the planet that he ain't the aggressor in every form and fashion, on every level. Okay, watch this. I'm going to show you. We can go to something simple like, if you was Emmett Till, and at that moment, when it went down, and Emmett Till's family and them Europeans ran all up in their house and everything, you didn't think they thought, even if they was mystery god worshipers, they still said, them devils took my baby and killed them. All right, there's one hit. Tulsa, Oklahoma. They was dropping grenades and bombs from the air on them people. You didn't think they thought that hell came from, the lady said, she said, hell didn't come from underground. It came from the sky above, and it was white, throwing hell down on us. And she was like 8 years old. She wrote it in her diary. So that's a Martin hell. You can see definitely is the devil. Nobody on earth ever, nobody on the whole planet did what he did to Lamb's wool. See, if we just use as what he did to Lamb's wool in the 50 states, that just shows you how he's living. But throughout the planet, from Tropic of Capricorn to the Tropic of Cancer, and the whole equator going through the whole equator. You don't see no one do to them what he did to them. There's another good way of doing it. You could tell he's old grafter because you see he be grafting things right now, and he's a cloner, and he likes to clone, and he separates things, and he puts things together that wasn't supposed to be there. And read the 600-year process. He's doing all of that now. So if you read the 600-year process, too much to say about it right now, but the whole thing, whether it's allegorical or not, whether it's scientifically can be proven today or it can't be. This is what I would say to that. I can take you to scientific laboratories right now and the shit that they're doing in there. If they could do that, these are the devils doing it now. Because we won't see none of y'all in there.
And when
It'll be nice and quiet in there.
And God, when you say scientific laboratory, what you mean? Like the whole science of how you only got white lab
so they're
mice.
splitting cells, ways to extract melanin from us, and you voluntarily let them do it. And they trying to figure out that kind of stuff. There's so much cloning and test tube baby, and they say it's test tube, but it's not really a test tube. It's what they're doing is they put that because they're doing it in the lab, putting sperm and say LA together. It doesn't work good on species at our genetic level. But lower down the genetic scale, especially at the plant level, it's easy to do. You can look at einkorn, and then you look at wheat, and it went from 14 chromosomes to 48. They did that. They put animal DNA in with plant DNA, and it's alive now. It's still those plants. So they could do all of that, right? You've seen them breed dogs. Or if you leave dogs alone, there won't be no more than what they call breed dogs. They'll go away. Dogs don't fuck each other that way. That's not how they make procreation. So it's all over society for you to see it. Look, they grafted them. They couldn't graft the way Yakub did to us. They didn't know how to do that well. So what did they do? They graft all of the knowledge of self right out of us. Even us who got knowledge of self right now, we still kind of think from left to right because we speak English very well. The only thing that's saving us is we got 120 in mathematics and alphabets. It fixes that convolution that makes you go left to right. And now you're fixed. So all these things to me show me who the devil is. And history will show us too, like you said. If we go back in history and we read those books like J. Rogers, Sex and Races, Volume 1, 2, and 3, he tells you all of those different stories that the Africans had for the Europeans. Everybody had a story for him and, you know, where he came from. Up to today.
Absolutely, God, as well as, you know, that's the one thing that I was about to say that I was sitting here thinking about, God, was, you know, when you go to, you know, the genetic evidence, God, and the point that, you know, as well as a few other points that I had mentioned that I was going to go to, you know, where you see even the Sumerians talk about a man who going to create a savage man. You know, that's something that's in the Enuma Elise. What was I going though? It was something else that I was looking to pull up. Yeah. So we go to genetics, God, and we deal with.
No, what that one you just said? What's that?
Which one? The one from the Enuma Elise?
Yeah, he said he's gonna make a man. I don't know that.
Yeah, what? Yeah. So in J.B. Pritchard in his book The Ancient Near East.
Oh yeah, you gotta make sure they know that.
Yeah. He in tablet 4 of the Enuma Elise, where it was quoted was saying, "Behold, I will cause bones to be." I will establish a savage. Man shall be his name, and verily savage man I will create. The way of the gods I will artfully alter. You know, so I just seen that God. The enumerate lease is like a tablet. I don't want to say almost. You know, they try to make it seem like it's almost like a mythology. However, it's where most people attribute the Sumer creation story, or you know, an early text of like creation and understanding of the rest of the world. So, you know, for me, it's just another example of just dealing with you know, that same science. So you know,
Uriah fiction has a lot of information on that area.
Well, and where else I was gonna go to, we talked about earlier from that 18th century text in the Shangra Bazaar in Upper Mesopotamia, and this is something me and IC went about. But it was a cartouche, right, with the name of the Hyksos chief, and the name of that place as well as that chief was Yacub R. Right, and this was on the 15th century list of Thutmose III. And God, I see you was the one who kind of built on the science of a cartouche. What exactly is a cartouche, God? If your name is on a cartouche,
well,
what exactly does that make you?
From my understanding, and you know, I could be corrected if I'm wrong. However, from my understanding, a cartouche, an individual's name that is in a cartouche is always a pharaoh. Only a pharaoh's name will be in a cartouche, from my understanding.
True,
you know, that's when you're dealing with the you know, the Kemetic metal netter and the hieroglyphics and whatnot.
Yeah, no doubt.
So
definitely somebody important. It wouldn't be no common person.
Right.
Nah, it definitely.
Priest could have been on there too.
Okay.
Meaning on the cartouche.
Yeah, priest, royalty in that area where they might have been a direct line with the father. Who I don't know if we're using the right term when we say pharaoh or whatever.
Well,
that's a bad translation. We get the point.
Here's where I was.
We know what we thought. Right, we getting the point. Like, it ain't really a pyramid. It ain't really Egypt. We know what we talking.
Where I was going.
I just don't want the people that think that we don't know that too. Like, we know that part too.
No, absolutely. And where I was going was that this was the name of the god of the Hyksos. Right? This was who the Hyksos said was their god. If you know, during this time of Egypt, the time of Thutmose III, that's when the Hyksos and the Hittites ruled Kemet. Right? So the Hyksos invaded Egypt in 1675 BC. They were said to be a group of barbaric white Asiatics.
Yeah.
They were called the Typhonians. So they head or their god was written in the cartouche.
Dr. Ben.
Peace, God. No doubt.
His book, Dr. Ben, he talks about that, and so does I know Ivan Van Sertimer is mostly on this side, but who's the other guy? Dr. Henry Clark.
John Henry Clark.
Yeah, John Henry Clark explained the Hycosis and the invasion of what they call Egypt today, which was Kemet then, and which could have been Timerian. So if you really wanted to get in depth in that part of it, I would get Black Man the Nile and his family. And it would still make me get J.A. Rogers' Sex and Races, Volume 1, 2, and 3, because by him going into procreation of the people on the planet, it shows you the graftation process and why they're afraid.
You know, another book I found very valuable in my trials and tribulations and the journey of going through, you know, studies in history. Count Varney, Ruins of Empires.
don't know that one. That should be shining too. Make
Oh
sure
yeah,
that you get that.
yeah, that's a nice one. That's a nice one.
Yeah, I'm
See,
about
that's what I'm saying. When each one teach one, exchanging information, it's so much information in our favor because it's the truth that we all won't have gotten it all by ourselves.
No doubt. No doubt
But
about
you
it.
would have got these books. I would have got these books. The point that we put it all.
And God, you said one more before you said the J.A. Rogers book, God, because I'm pulling up the pictures so I can share them. Before you said the J.A. Rogers book, God, I got the J.A. Rogers Sex and Race Volume 1
Black
and
Man
Volume
of the Nile and His Family
Yeah, that was a nice
by
one.
Dr. Ben. That's a nice, good one.
Yeah.
2. Okay.
For that particular subject, that just wipes them out. If you could find the textbook one that back in the day, but if not, get the little short blue one.
No,
It's
Doc.
still pretty much the same.
From my understanding, and I think Dr. Ben was teaching classes here in D Mecca back in the day. You know, a lot of elders here in D Mecca, you know, was in his classes.
Yeah, the only problem with Pan-African Egyptology, chematology, Time Mary, they don't be having no dietary law. That's what fucks them up.
Oh shit.
I mean, they be hella.
Damn.
That's my word is born. They be hella smart when it comes to eating. But
Damn.
they don't, because they don't have a dietary law. It doesn't make them take on because they'll know everything about the religion and the culture of Egypt, but they don't be doing it. They don't be worshiping those gods. Who they be worshiping? They say they ain't down with white Jesus no more. So who they down with? Why they still eat like Christians?
Damn.
Explain it. I'm going to tell you why. Because on the DL, they still be Jesus. They don't know what else to pick. They ain't picking Egypt. They not. They don't have the feeling. The world's consciousness is not worshiping those gods anymore. The world's consciousness is still worshiping. The Hindus still got their gods going down. They almost lost all their shit. They still got them. The Chinese coaches and all them, they still got theirs. The Japanese don't really got theirs. They almost invaded totally with Christianity.
God.
China got a lot of Christianity too.
God,
yes.
God, really quick, God. I didn't want to cut your wisdom. I want to take a few of these
No,
questions.
Bill,
I want to take a few of these questions, God, before they get bagged up,
do that.
because they getting up in there, man. So I want to make sure I answer everybody's question, man. Hold on, let me get some of these questions out the way for y'all really quick. Hold on, really quick, God, and you could be more than happy to add on to them. So
right.
this is a bunch
of
them on YouTube.
It's
Let me go through. I think those was on Facebook. Oh, the book that you mentioned, the Enuma Elise. How do you spell that? We're gonna pull it back up for you.
And that's the ENUMA. And what is it? ELIS.
The Enuma Elise.
Yeah.
It's
ELIS.
ENUMA ELISH.
H.
That's in tablet 4 of the Enuma Elise, and that comes from J.B. Pritchard's book, 1958, The Ancient Near East, Princeton University Press, page 36.
And that might be that's a particular, version of it. However, that's an ancient scripture.
That's an ancient tablet. Yeah, that's an ancient scripture. Yeah, true indeed. Word. Say you got it. A lot of those. Yeah, they do. I agree with that. Prince Adonis said a lot of those great authors say that migration in the way of color or shade changes instead of the Yacub theory. I agree with you. That's what John Henry Clark as well as Dr. Ben. God, what do you say to that, Devon? To brothers who say, because that was fam's little argument to us, that natural selection or albinoism or what they call amalgamation. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard, I can't remember the brother's name, but I've heard John Henry Clark go through that the Europeans come from the people who were called the Grimaldi, who migrated into Europe, and then because of the place that they were in, they developed these unique features.
Didn't grab, See, what they be forgetting is they be becoming absolute because they've been taught by the devil so long, they only think it could be one thing that happened. No, dumbass. That's not how nature works. If albinos could be made now, albinos was made before he grafted anything. How you think he goddamn knew he could do it? He already saw it it was happening already. We've been making them 16 shades of black, 8 shades of brown, 8 shades of yellow without anything happening. You got that, just you, without the brown and the yellow seeds. They came from you too, before Yakub. Go everywhere in the world, and you see they be hiding us. China be hiding us. Even little old Puerto Rico be hiding us. I go in the middle, you'll see the ones that look like Frankie. They look like the God right there. Him and Frankie don't look that far from each other.
So I do got a question for you, God, in the chat. Say I would like to know if the guest agrees with the theory of evolution by natural selection. Why or why not?
Well, when I look at evolution, I automatically think of the devil. You can't get to evolution without that European racist Darwin. And now, see, that's when you got to look at not just what they write and say and get caught up in the magic with the memes and all that shit that they made back then, because it's all a bunch of pictures. They can't show you no hard evidence. It's always a story in between and everything. So, no, I don't agree with it. But the reason, like I said, is read about Darwin. When I went to college, we studied it too. And we would get to a point, and you can't prove it. It's a theory. It's proved that evolution selective theory, because if you look at the excavations and the, I want to say the striata, and each layer of time on the earth, and I don't see a real distinction. Some animals were there that ain't there anymore, and some animals are gone that were there. But there's no point where you see something growing and turning into something else. Now, let's start with the next part. If what they're saying is true, and that there is evolution and it's selective, based on their theory, you the closest one to the monkey. So if you think that shit real, then you whole a bastard. And they right then.
Right.
Because look at what they say. You either came out of a lemur. I'm giving it to you real. Now go into Guggenheim in them schools right there in Germany. They teach that in anthropology schools. When they leave the lemur stage or the ape stage, depending on which kind of Negro you are, because the lemur ones are smaller and supposed to be a little smarter, and then the bigger ones, the apes and gorillas. You've seen the Planet of the Apes.
No.
Don't you see the hierarchy, the orangutan and and the chimpanzee? You don't think they got you straight up in that line with the motherfucking, when you go to evolution? That's what the fuck it looks like. When you look at the tree,
Right.
You see them, they go monkey, you look at it. And then finally they stand up there, the man, right? Okay, now, look at the ones back. Go back. Don't you see how they say they're the more human? Because you're the one closest to the monkey, and that shows Yakub again. They'll admit then they came out of you. Because the evolution people be killing them because they be saying that it's evolution, selective thing, da-da-da-da. They can't prove that we wasn't before them because evolution going to still say we was before them. So, yeah, If it go monkey and go to man, what do you think? It skip to the white man? No. He said you the more animal. That's why you could jump higher, run faster. Your Johnson's bigger. Your woman had a vagina stick all out more, and she got better titties. What's her name? Serena, and all of them, and Michael Jordan, and all the rest of these motherfuckers. No, stop. We don't even got to go nowhere. We just keep bringing it right back up to modern days. Where's their ass out? Listen, if there's Europeans listening right now, they know what I'm saying now. That selective bullshit doesn't work in real life when we do it in the laboratory. This is how I know. Now watch. Because that shit is part of, that's how they got light and you was dark and you was by the sun and they wasn't by the sun and this, that, and the third. And I keep asking them, like I said to them then, and I'm saying it now and they never answer you. They want to get at you until you get out of school damn near for asking them. So how come the Eskimos? They've been up there in Alaska, 3 months, triple black like a motherfucker, dawn and 3 months, dusk 3 months, sun up high as hell for 3 months, and in that, they get, and their whole, what we see in a 24-hour period, it takes them 12 months to see. That's what happens, actually. So I just want to know why, since they ain't been in the sun and it's brick fucking cold, colder there than it is in Europe, they looking whiter than sheep. If your theory is, if that theory works, that they say, because you up north, hell, they ain't more up north than the Eskimo. How? That shit don't work. None of that shit's real. They just made that shit up to try to make themselves look good. And they went with Darwin because it's a religion. It's new state religion. See, let me tell you something. When Greece was the king of Europe, they had the state religion, and the king was Zeus. And then Rome took over, and their state religion used to be Jupiter. And then when that didn't work, and put people in check, they went to the Christianity, and they went that way, and they just kept building and going on across. So now they over here now, they got a few different splinter groups coming off. You got the Jehovah's Witness and the Mormons and all them. Jumped off that same.
Just to add on to what you just said, because, you know, when you think about it, you go back to the Vatican. And you go in there and they got the statue. Today they will call the statue St. Peter. The statue of St. Peter in the Vatican is St. Peter's Square. That's Jupiter. The ancient statue is actually Jupiter. You know, but they named it Peter.
Jupiter, Baal, they all the same.
And God, well, what I was gonna say was that all I thought about when you was talking was that you have even scientists that you name, you know, Darwin. You've had several of them say that, you know, the color man and that the white race is only 6,000 years old, and that they can only come. Yeah, because
they trying to say they more human. That's what they really doing with theirs, because you got to be before them, because you closer to the animal. We all came from Earth, and we evolved into this new thing. They're saying you, the black one, then the brown ones came out of you, then the red ones came out of them, and the yellow ones came out of them, and then they came. That's why they'll give the yellow ones more props than they'll give you. See, they'll say the Chinese people good culture and this, that, and the third, and the white and the Chinese people was getting attacked, and they put them, now they ain't even yellow no more. They Asians now.
See, I got
they
this.
Still making you a color black.
I got this one up on the screen. I don't know if you can see this, Divine, but Charles Darwin said that he had concluded without some form of selective breeding, such skin colors simply cannot be accounted for in a satisfactory manner. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he talking about his damn self.
Right. Yeah. He said we have he said we have thus far
but that's
baffled.
Not supposed to be true.
Huh?
Well, you know why that ain't true? See, that shows you when they racist, why they say racist shit.
Oh.
I'm going to show you why you know that ain't true. I know some I know a grandmother and a grandfather that live in Jersey. They had 10 children. They had 2 sets of twins. One set was albino girls. The other set was not albino boys. And so they wasn't selective breeding or nothing. He got with her, she got with him, they had them babies, it is what it is.
Right.
So, and we see albinos all over the world come from us, and we ain't trying to make them. It just come. So, but you can't find no white people. I don't give a damn how much selective breeding they do or don't do, or try to skip and jump it. They'll never make a jet black baby. It will never, ever happen. 2 pink nipples ain't making nothing but 2 pink nipples. But 2 black ass nipples can make a brown, yellow. Look at me, dude. Do you see me? If you see my parents, you'll say, well, damn, he shouldn't be that yellow. See? So that show you right there. And when I go to the family union or we look back in the tree, as far as I can look back when I see everybody that I see, I don't see no Europeans there. So when they be trying, if you go all the way back to Kemet, I seen those pictures on the wall. All of them ain't triple darkness. And you can even tell which ones was them European slaves. What? Did I make this up? I didn't write that shit on the wall. And they made those colors. Remember they was trying to say that they was faded and this and that. But when you go there and you talk to those experts that deal with those type of paintings and stuff, they say, nah, those are particular colors that they did, and the paint is so good it didn't even change colors from that era to now.
Right.
They can't make no good paint like that now.
Yeah, they can't even mimic the color.
No doubt. Absolutely.
They can't even mimic that. And if they made it the right flesh color, because if you was up on it close, see, when you looking at it on a picture, it looked like just browns. You get right on it, you'll see, damn, each one of those people's shapes in their faces and the actual shade of their skin is not exactly the same. It's almost like real fucking people. Like they did it real close. You could tell that the facial structures is like, that ain't just no one. They didn't use one model. They used the real people who,
Yeah, they had
but
shades.
You don't get to...
They actually had shades, different shades depicted in the artwork.
And God, this is what I was gonna say. What would you? And I see, I'm sure you can speak on to this point. But I really like to understand it when I read, and even going into certain lessons, where we're talking about, Yacub is not man, but man himself. You know what I mean? And just understanding.
I know that lesson too.
And what do you say to that point, God?
I mean, Yacub was an idea. Remember, before Yacub was made manifest, it was knowledge born. Knowledge born was made manifest before he was physically born. Remember the 30% satisfied, dissatisfied, and the 70% satisfied?
Before he was born.
They was predicted. Yeah, they already knew this was going to happen. That means that the conditions were already being set up for that to happen because of what was happening. So it shall be written. So it shall be done.
I say that's why it was written that his uncle. That's why his uncle was able to see him and see this young man
he already knew the story.
Yeah, he already knew the story, and he saw that young man living out what was already written in history. And that's why his name could have been Michael. His name could have been Michael, and he looked at him and saw, Michael, you Yacub.
You Yacub. He knew who Yacub was when they saw him.
Right.
And he proved himself to be Yacub because you see what he did. And even if people say they can't prove it, that they don't believe it, it doesn't matter whether you do or you don't. Your belief in not believing it, or you can't prove it or don't prove it, don't change it being there. It just means you can't prove it and you don't know. It don't change the fact. See, you can't see somebody on Chicago, in the Chicago streets right now doing a murder, and they can't use you for a witness because you didn't see it. You don't know what happened. Well, that's in everything. There's a lot of shit you don't know. And a lot of shit you can't prove yet. And then you're going to say that it ain't, you can't, no. Just because you can't find the proof, you think the proof don't exist. But maybe somebody found it and they didn't tell you. See, what about that one? See, you didn't think of that. Well, how about the devil found the proof of Yacub, Ben found it because of him. He knew about it in 1555 and he started doing that kind of activation. So if he hid whole giant cities just so you couldn't see a nose,
Ooh.
what would you think?
Damn.
You really believe that he would let you see Yacub? He won't even let you see proof of a Sphinx. He put a 21-gun shot cannon. Remember? Dr. Ivan Van Sertimer and the other guy, Diop, they did the proof, and they persuaded the countries to release the noses so they could put it back on the statutes, and the Arabs, because it ain't their ancestors either, they some motherfuckers. They that was a footnote, but they after he went through all of that trouble to get England and them to release it, the Arabs, because they don't want you to see that nose looking no African nose, they running the same semantic story too. They all in on it. All of them are in on it. That's what we ain't getting. They all in on it, and we the only ones don't know they all in on it. So the Arabs wouldn't let them put the nose on it. He wouldn't, because that shit should have been up by now. Since Diop and them. Diop, Ivan Van Sertimer, and Diop, Ivan Van Sertimer, and who else? One of them other Egyptology people. Right. They all showed and proved, no, they were ambassador type people. Henry Clark and them. They wasn't just, because remember, they not really from this side. Diop didn't even speak English. He spoke French, if I ain't mistaken.
True indeed.
Right, so they're in Europe, they got a different, it's different when they doing what they doing there than it is when we doing here. When they doing what they doing there, they mostly fighting academia. They fighting government, but more if they're in a government position. Then they fighting the monarch or the government in Europe. But usually they're fighting academia. But when we doing the same thing here in the 50 states, you are straight up fighting city, state, or federal government. That's who you fighting. See, because that's who comes for your throat or allows the other motherfuckers to come at you, because there is no way that you're CONTELPRO and you're not, and you're FBI and all. That's government. How did you write the Constitution? That's smart people in the government. No.
Yeah.
The Arabs was castrating you. They was in on it, and merchants, and they was in on it, and all the Europeans was in on it. Everybody was getting lamb's wool. Lamb wool don't see this part. You think you ain't the and this who you get the most resistance from about Yacub. It be lamb's wool giving.
You said be
who, God? Know he was grafted.
Yo, God, I was gonna say, yo, God, for the layman, because I know, the guys really go right here too. For the layman, just explain to them what lamb's wool is, God.
They don't know what lamb's wool is. I thought every black person in America knew what lamb's wool is.
Now, Cypher, God.
I ain't gonna lie.
Now, Cypher. Now, guys, they don't have a clue, God. They don't have a clue, God.
If they don't know directly, they know indirectly, because all their black women with lamb's wool, I bet you 85% of them is permanent hair. So don't tell me they don't know they got lamb's wool. If they didn't have lamb, they don't call it straight. They know they ain't got that. So you tell me they don't know? Everybody on earth who got lamb wool and fronting like they ain't got it? No, they got it.
You got it.
And they can act like, oh, I don't know what that means. That's all they fronting. They know what lamb wool is. I bet you when they in that Bible, when they read about lamb wool, they be so happy. They don't say nothing, but they be feeling good to themselves. Shit, he had lamb wool. They know damn well what it means. They know they ain't got no straight shit, and they know this. They know that the devil says your nappy, kinky lamb wool hair, we don't like it, and it's bad. And our straight, ain't got no protein hair is good. And once they convinced us that theirs was good, it automatically means ours is bad. But at the end of the day, black, we use the color ratio so they'll understand what I'm talking about. Or fronting like they don't know. But here we go. Black, brown, red, yellow, white. Okay? So let's go back in reverse. White, straight here. What did we say? Black, brown, red. Yellow, yellow, straight here. Brown, straight here. Red, whatever they wanted to make it red, they got straight here too. At least you do on the TV. God knows what
Woolly,
they had.
the woolly haired one.
Well, even that's
all them. It's only but they the only one that's a thumb. See, the other four are the fingers, and the lamb wool is the thumb. They know that. See, that's the key. You, us, me, us. We are the only ones on the planet Earth with the lamb's wool. Why do you think they can be ganging up on us? It's easy for them to pick us out, even when you try to hide and get yellow. Boy, you better get yellow and make sure that hair ain't got no roots ain't showing. Because it ain't, trust me, if I put their hair under a microscope and you've been amalgamated, even if you look just like them, you could be looking like you Puerto Rican or Italian or Sicilian. I put that fucking hair under a microscope and I know you ain't just painting it. And they know it too. And if I know it and I went to the schools with them, they know it too. And they know that only they got pink nipples. And they know that if they amalgamate with us, they got no more pink nipples. So they can say whatever they want to say. That's a fact. Now you tell me that.
You know what? You know that right there. That made me think about this movie that I saw not too long ago. It was called Passing. And how this black woman, she was passing, and like she didn't want to be seen, you know, completely naked. She always wanted the lights out, whatever, you know, because I guess she didn't want her nipples to be seen. You know, she knew that once he seen that she didn't have pink nipples, it was a wrap.
And see, most of our people don't even know that when they thought they was passing the brown bag test. The brown bag test for black people is your face. The brown bag test for white people is your nipples. And they didn't goddamn get that part. See, they ain't getting it. If they knew that, see, once we love our lamb's wool, our men don't got too much of a problem with their own lamb's wool. But they got a problem with their black woman's lamb's wool. Because if they didn't, she wouldn't be running around here trying to straighten it out because we wouldn't be paying no goddamn attention with that straight shit. We'd be like, get the fuck out of here. But she knows that we go, ooh, I like your hair like that. And they putting them big-ass eyelashes looking like Mrs. Piggy, tripping me the fuck out. But I guess that's the new look. I guess they look crazy to the other people when they was in the 70s with the bell bottoms and all that shit looked crazy to me too.
I don't know, guys. I think a lot of men like natural hair. However, they just don't have a choice, you know, because shit, that's what the women gravitate to.
Nah, G. If they got a choice to make them bitches go with being have a big ass, then these bitches know that they need a big ass so big they'll go to Honolulu, Hawaii to get some ass. God damn it!
You're right about that. You're right about that, God.
You're definitely right about that. Going all the way to India to get Indian hair because these niggas is telling them they like that Indian shit. You talking about knowledge of self, people? About 5% of y'all ain't enough. The 85, trust and believe, those, especially them Christians. What? Are you better not come out here with that nappy shit, girl? You better do something with that. Tell me what we say. I know what the fuck we say. I'm us. We don't cut no corners. We be chopping her ass up. Let her come out there with some natural. You see how they be looking at the ones that don't give a fuck and got knowledge of self and how they hear natural? You see what those niggas be acting? If they get them an 85, he will try to make her perm that shit. Do something with that, ma. How you gonna get a job looking like that? He frown up his face and shit. His mama got hair like that, but he wanted a permit too, and so do his daddy. Mm-hmm.
I see. What you about to say, guy?
Yo, I'm over here smiling ear to ear.
Yeah.
The guy,
Oh yeah.
Yo, the guy hitting on one.
Yeah, I love the guy.
Yeah,
the guy can't.
We under so much pressure, Lord. We under so much pressure that even in the 5% nation, the earth be having perms here under that rap. Am I lying? What? You don't think they under pressure to have their hair perm? Man, half of us, that's 5%. Then why a woman got perm hair if we so into having it natural? Why you ain't telling her, nah, ma, you ain't got to do that. I love it. I want it to be nappy as it could be like the lamb. No, we don't. Oh, ma, you got to do something with this, especially that kitchen. Fucking tell me. We just,
shit, God.
I said this is twisted.
Yo,
what?
I hear what you're saying on that end. However, on the other end, I done caused hell in my home because I was asking for natural hair.
Oh shit!
You understand what I'm saying?
No.
At one particular time,
and you know why? You know why you was catching hell because it is natural? Because I guess they want the other shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How you going to? Yes, they gonna come for your throat. That's like saying we don't want no pork. I don't want that white Jesus. I mean, there's a list of shit you can do to get your ass kicked the fuck out the house.
God, yo, I remember I had static about talking about, I want some non-fluoride toothpaste. Like, damn, we can't even use regular toothpaste.
Exactly.
Word is bond.
Listen, they don't want to take the devil off their planet, Lord. That's my word is bond. They do not want to take the devil off their planet. And so when you take the devil off your planet, you do it in degrees. So when we first was doing it, of course, when we saw the lesson and we thought that we misinterpreted that. I think we misinterpreted because of the information that we already had. They only had a certain amount of information at that age group. So when we saw the lesson and it was telling us, well, it's easier if I just say it. When it was saying uncivilized people poison animal eaters, when we saw the part poison animal eaters, we just automatically went to the swine. But it didn't say poison swine eaters. It said poison animal eaters. Now we only thought one animal was poison, right? But if we read Leviticus, we would have knew more than one animal was poison. There was so many of them poison for us to eat that they gave you a certain number to eat. Because they couldn't name all the ones that you shouldn't eat. But what we're going to do is we're going to tell you what you can eat and what you can't eat by certain looks, like split hoof and chew a cud. If it don't have a split hoof and chew a cud, you can't eat it. So that's why a camel that chews a cud, you ain't supposed to eat it, but the Arabs eat some camel like it's all good. That's good. And the Christians will eat some swine that has a split hoof but don't chew a cud. Yum, 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 yum. That's good. See, but this is what you will notice. Every religion, culture, creed, whatever the case may be, if they don't have a dietary law, they shit fall. Because that means they ain't got no dietary law. They don't got no law for nothing else. Anything goes unless you get caught. And it's against the king's rules. The society doesn't like it. But you can still do it if nobody see you. And you, because how would you have serial killers all over the place, but they got law against murder?
Peace.
They make good books and write stories about serial killers and Jesse James type niggas, and they like those kind of motherfuckers that run up on a town and shoot everybody and take the money, and the South will rise again.
Peace, God.
They make stories for the South will rise again. They like Josie Wales and all. Why you think them stories ain't for the North to rise again?
Peace,
they
God.
want the South.
God, God. Peace, God. Peace,
hey,
God.
The guy wanted to add on to you real quick, God.
Peace, God. Yo. Peace, God. Peace. Yo, you know, just you know, on the strength of you know, our listeners, our viewers, you know, whatnot. I want to you know, switch it up a little bit, you know. And I got a question for you, and this is also something, you know, me personally also, you know, want to know and want to go into a little bit, you know. Today's mathematics being wisdom, knowledge, you know. I want to hear you speak a little bit more about your foundation, you know. We want to hear about you, you know. So I want to ask you, you know, where did you get knowledge? Who did you get knowledge from, God?
I don't even, you know why I don't really talk about me as much as it doesn't need me, because where I'm at is not what made us get the Father got us all. That's why I kind of like. Well, no, it's just another story about another person who's on the street and got.
Well, God, okay, I understand that, but you know, like, you know, nowadays, you know, we're in the tradition of making sure that, you know, we give our elders, you know, the flowers. You know, we want to give flowers, you know, right now today, you know, and me myself, you know, I'm a lover of history, you know. I love to study, you know, and I'm familiar with your works, you know. I've read some of the lessons that you've put out, some of the works, you know what I'm saying, some of the literature that you know have and whatnot, and you know, I'm just interested to know, and I want the people to know, in regards to, you know, just a little bit about the man behind the information.
I think the guy, and what he had asked God too was what was your foundation and where you got knowledge
in regards
from.
to, you know, who you got knowledge from.
Right.
You know,
that was the question.
You know, where you got knowledge.
I don't think he heard your question.
You know, that's a different story, because I had knowledge of self in different stages. Depends on, you know, but as far as 120 level of it, because like I said, my parents was Hebrew, and I didn't come from a Christian background.
Okay.
So Leviticus and Deuteronomy was in the house. I got that by osmosis. You know, not like I even knew where they got the information from. I just didn't see it, and we went to school in the temple. So a lot of stuff that everybody else got programmed in, I didn't know about that. I didn't even know there was a white Jesus. I didn't even know it was a Jesus. Who the hell is that? That's how it came to me. So by the time I figured out what was going on, it was too late to indoctrinate me with that part. Yet, I still got exposed to 85ism enough where I was subtly became an 85. So by the time I got to 120, shit, I needed that shit. It was either get this 120. Under didn't know what else to do. He was like, dude, you're going berserk. You either get this 120 or I don't know. I guess you'll be going up north or they'll kill you. Probably you'll get killed because you won't let them take you. So that wasn't working. That wasn't going to work. So he said to me, quote unquote, his name wasn't understanding then. He was Carter Mack. And he said, go back home, find the guards, find the peace guards, and then when you get what you need, then you come back. All right, so I went home. First person I caught up with was Prince Love, Universal Prince Love. And then building with him and the ciphers he said he had too many disciples, so he put me on Born King. And then Born King gave me ISL, self is true reality, son of man, God. Then he gave me he said, okay, Now you gotta go see Divine, African Divine. Everybody in Starry gonna know who I'm talking about. So African Divine give me 9 reasons why Allah is God. He's like, yeah, when you quote this, then you come back and see me. So he gave me that like 8 o'clock Friday night, shit, 7 o'clock Saturday morning. Yeah, son. I went and found him. I knocked on his door. So he opened it. I quoted degrees, the whole 9 degrees. He said, damn, you quoting it already? I said, yeah, man, I ain't playing. What's good? So he was like, I don't really got time like that. I'm going to take you to Even my God, you see what the product is.
Nah, that's peace.
Okay,
Peace to the God. Yeah, nah, that's peace.
Yeah, once he took me to Master Eye God, it was a wrap. Because Master I got this is good for him. Yeah, so Master Eye God was like me. He already had a lot of books, a lot of studies. He was already doing a lot of this and that anyway. So me and him became like a team. So it just helped us go to the next level. And yeah, because he already had knowledge of self from our lessons, not the way I had got it, osmosis, this, that, and the third. But he had 120 since the 70s. By the time I'm seeing him, he already had it for 10 years. So he was with gods like Allah, like Gumar Complete, Messiah, Firstborn Prince. He was around them a lot because when he was taking me around them, when I look back at those days when he was bringing me over there with them and he knew them. And I didn't really know who they were then. I wish I would have knew who they were in the hierarchy of how the nation worked then. But I was so new, I didn't really know what. I just knew we had high power lessons and we was learning it and this, that, and the third. I didn't really have the concept of that's Black Messiah, that's Firstborn Prince. I didn't know who they were like that. I didn't know. I never physically met Gumar Complete. I never met him physically. I only met Allah Foundation like maybe 1 or 2 times. And I didn't even know who he was when I met him. But these were the enlighteners of God. Because our lessons come out of Messiah's life. Messiah, Qasim, and Gumar Complete. And I know Father Divine was around in those days, back in the days. We knew him. But he was mostly running, doing Nubia, the city of gold. Even in those days, I didn't know there was a difference between Starrett City and Nubia, the city of gold. I figured that whole area was Nubia. So that show you where I didn't know certain things was. I didn't know. Nobody was saying nothing. God didn't make a difference between the two. So I didn't see the difference. I didn't see the difference till years later. But since we was back and forth, it wasn't no way you was in Starrett and you wasn't in Nubia. Like, really, we jumped off the 105 and come right through Nubia to get to Starrett. You couldn't even get home unless you did today's mathematics. Can you imagine this? To get to where I'm at with East New York, we had to go through the head of Medina, which was Fort Greene, so you had to know your math through there. Now you leave there, you get to the heart of Medina, Nostri and all that, so you definitely got to know your math when you get there. Are you kidding me? If you stay through the head, you that hard. So we had to know our lessons extra good because we in East. We all the way near Flatbush. We got to go through 2 major players to get to where we at. And to even get where we at, we in Starrett, we still had to get through Nubia. That's why we knew our math like we knew it. You had to know. We already knew that this is what you're going through. So everybody in Starrett that's going to be in this and wear flags and everybody going to know you in this, because don't think it was no secret agent motherfuckers that didn't let you know they were studying. Because they didn't want nobody running up on them. It wasn't like it is now. You get ran up on You could get ran up on and they could say where you at in the lesson, and depending on how long you've been in, and if it correlates with how long you've been in with what you know, you good. But say you said you knew 120, but you thought you knew 120, but you didn't know 120. See, y'all laughing because y'all know where it could go, right? That's how it was. Now, you come out better knowing your lessons than even trying to act like you want to fight. Because even if your hands was good, it'd be everyone. Dude, I hope you're fighting because you're right and exact. Then you're not. Then a lot of them ain't gonna help get in, or you're not gonna have the same challenge if you fighting and you right and exact. But if you fighting and you not right and exact and you trying to be strong but wrong, you ain't gonna get out of that one. That's when I seen universal beatdown. And you seen people get a universal beatdown because the guards is real, what would I say they are when it comes to the lessons? They're not as fanatic as people would think. If you just gotta don't be lying. Even if you said I know 120 and then you had a degree and you don't know, and you're like, damn, I thought I knew it all, but I guess I don't know that one. I need to study it again. They don't go with that. But if you be trying to act like, well, the lessons say one having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. Say you said it, not a savage in the pursuit of justification. They'll be like, what? Nah. And then you'd be like, well, that's how I see it. Right. See? You're trying to be belligerent. So if 12 of us know that it ain't that. No. This ain't like we arguing over he got power, he got refinement. We already know some of us ain't got it, some of us got it and all that. No, but that war won't get you punched in the face if you say you got refinement and they say they got power and you got justice in yours. That won't get you punched in the face. But this will get you punched in the face. How you see Dave's mathematics? Oh, I see the Dave's mathematics is knowledge builds this story. You go through the whole thing. They let you go through the whole thing and they say, Dave's mathematics ain't knowledge build, that's damn cipher. And you start trying to act like it is, but it's really wisdom knowledge. It really is wisdom knowledge. And somehow you think it's knowledge built. Yeah, you can get back up now. Let me show you the calendar, boy, because you were getting a little belligerent. That's how it was back then. It ain't so like that now. Now you can get away with talking shit. They might not even do nothing to you.
Depends on where you at.
Well, no, it always depends on where you at. But most of the time when they belligerent and popping shit, they on a keyboard.
Oh,
so you can't get to it.
Because I was about to say certain places, even Mecca and
the Lord is saying even the old God punch you in the face.
I know. Even in Power Born, Hear Her Truth Known, even up there where you at, Mecca, Medina, and anywhere.
No, that's what I'm saying. I saw Freedom punch Al Jamar in the face over something at the. See. I'm keeping it fucking real. Punched him right in his face. Oh, but I don't know exactly what it was over. It was something to do with the front door and this, that, and the third. I'm just showing you that it could get volatile. Don't think that it... Now, Freedom ain't even here no more. But he knows that happened. They even gave him a little exile because they said you shouldn't have did that and this, that, and the third. But you know it's Freedom and so... That's how we was, G. We would square up in a minute back in the days. It's just that we got old now, and you can't just be doing that. These old guys, you can't be hitting them like that, and they gonna fall down and shit. When we was young, G, when we was young, we would go for it real quick. Like anything could go off right quick. Like you, they ain't trying to kill you, but them hands will be done. You could get punched in your face. Now they ain't trying to kill you, but you gonna feel they, and you needed to have hands. So you couldn't just have mind, you needed to have hands too. It's nicer now, way nicer. Damn. I was at the end of the niceness. No, I was at the end of the hardness. Because that 80s era, by the time it hit 90s, it got nicer by 1998 when it came on. The hardest I seen something go down was when I seen the guard get punched in the face.
I mean,
And I wasn't really there when I saw him get punched, and he was already in the dirt, on the ground.
and I
damn
mean,
near.
God, I would just say, you know, I mean, again, I just think is where you at. You know, I got knowledge. I came into the knowledge probably I would say cipher born, and I done seen quite a few things. I done seen a few brothers.
No, but in that
You know,
age group, you wouldn't.
You know, getting
I'm
their
saying
hands
in
put
my
up.
age group, we supposed to stop that by now.
No doubt,
we
absolutely.
thought we had stopped it, but you didn't. We didn't. No, go ahead and say some crazy shit and let these old motherfuckers hear you say they'll go back to that old shit in a minute because they still that really. But I'm just saying, the younger people, I expect that because y'all are young and volatile. You got different. It's just different. Where you say you was born in the 90s? God damn, you were supposed to look. Let me tell you something. Say you and the rest of them 90s boys is out there fighting, and me and the guard and our group is out there fighting. What you think they going? They'll be okay with y'all over there. But when they see me and him and our group, they gonna say, "Well, what they doing?" Y'all should be way more on another level than that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, that just don't look right.
That's
I'm
not
20 and I'm fighting. Yeah, okay. You 50 and you 40 now. Even in you, once you get past your 30s, that shit could be over now. Okay.
Yeah.
That's done because now you understand that if you punch him too hard, he fall down and die. It's a wrap.
No, true indeed,
That's how you get fucked. And if y'all both fighting, then the white man run up on you, he gonna arrest both you motherfuckers.
Right.
He gonna fuck your shit up. He gonna try to say some shit like, stop resisting. And you be saying to yourself, oh shit.
Oh God.
Motherfucker just shoot me. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah,
I be trying to tell motherfuckers when they getting crazy, I say, listen, black man, listen to me. I know you probably could win or I could win, ain't nobody having it, nothing ain't going down, but when the police run up on us, they gonna say, oh, we gonna shoot these niggas. And we gonna get away with it. We gonna say, they attacked us. And if both of us dead, what can we say back? Nothing. So motherfuckers start thinking, yeah, you right, OG. Yeah, believe it. We know how these motherfuckers are, don't we? Now, if you really wanted to fight, we go somewhere where nobody's around. Just me and you, no cameras, no nothing, and we'll straighten it like men. But anything else is a chance of us getting shot by a white man. He want to shoot us, and he would love it if you hurt me bad enough where I'm dead, then he could, I'm dead, and you go into jail. He done got two birds with one stone. Hopefully you two motherfuckers are young enough, y'all didn't make no children.
Right.
No, you ain't lying, God. But yes, God, listen. I know. Like you said, I don't want to keep you too long, cause we you know we usually try to keep this thing rocking for an hour, man. We getting on like the hour and 30-minute mark, man. God, I appreciate you so much, man. God, giving us some time and sharing so much wisdom and knowledge, wisdom, and understanding with us, man. You really been kicking it, God. I appreciate it, man.
Man, I could stand on backs of some bad motherfuckers. That's why I got this right there.
Word.
If I ain't had it, I wouldn't have knew this. They gave me such a leap in time. It just put me in another zone. I was like, oh, I gotta use this. They gave me like a 20-year leap in time. The way iGuard gave me the lessons, it was like a 20-year leap. So what most people had to wait 20 years to get, he gave it to me in 2 days. From then I just studied, of course, but yeah. He didn't hold back. He gave me everything. That's why you see the way I give it up. I give it up that way because that's the way I received it. I didn't get it piecemeal and he give me a piece and you at 10% in me, you know. I don't want you to be holding to me, you know. You don't even got to know me. You just got to know and understand this, and you got to have good credentials to say, yeah, we vouch for him. I better know these people. Because I gave lessons to people that was family members, and then they didn't use them right. They misused them, and my name was people could look at the lessons and tell where you got those ones. Oh, them is Divine's lessons. You got them from Divine? No. Divine gave them to some idiot, and that idiot gave them to this fool. And now my name all in the mud. I gotta send people to go get my shit. Undering them, I gotta send True Guard and them niggas that's not playing to come get those. Because you can't be doing that. And you gonna make me look bad, and I ain't trying to look bad. So we gonna straighten this out. That's how we used to do it. I've done it before, really different, and I don't do it the same way. I made a mistake. I ain't gonna make the same error again. You ain't getting me twice. I've been fucked every way you could think of in doing this and studying real estate and all of that. So you can't get me no more. I got contingency plans set up. This is Wakanda.
No doubt.
Like that. The way you see, they can't get the father right. Don't every time they try to get us, we stop them. Flat Earth, what's his name? Who try to come with the dark matter? All of them. I don't care which one they came. Even to go all the way back to Muslim. It is what it is.
No doubt, God. And you know, that's why I think that's why this type of platform and what we do is important, God, because we able to, you know, nip a lot of the BS in the bud, man. You know, I feel like social media and just the internet in general, you know, has become part of the front line. You know what I'm saying? In terms of teaching, in terms of, you know, the social presence, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because I feel like when we study the history and just what y'all was dealing with, a big part of it was social presence. You know what I mean? Like you said, y'all being able to go put it down on the street. Yo, man, you represent me. You know, we dealing with it like this. You know, the presence, guys. So, I think even with this is making sure that we in these spaces, God. And with that, what do you say to somebody who is interested in our culture, who's looking to come into this knowledge? What advice would you give them?
Wow. Definitely need a good enlightenment. Somebody you can walk with and they gonna be. Yeah, you're gonna need see, enlightenment is not, it's almost like the Jedi, the learner and the student. Y'all be friends, y'all become, me and Igar was homies and friends and buddies and everything. Definitely for those 3.5 years we was together. Because I got to learn this, and he wants to give it to me, and you become close that way. So no matter, even to this day, a few days will go by, one of us going to call. Like, you good? Or something. Like, dog, why you ain't saying nothing? That's how it is, and that's how it stays. So, unless you're enlightened or less physically, you know that can happen too. It's just that my enlightenment's still here. Like, oh, can you bring your tree back? Shoot, I'd go get my tree. He right there in Medina still. Not far from where his mother lived, right down. Same, everybody in the same, pretty much the same hood. I'm the one moved. So I would say get you a good enlightenment. And you'll be like, you know, I mean, I don't know nobody else to use, but I see you be like, hey, it's got a good enlightenment. I ain't say I'm the best in this nation. But in this teaching and everything, but I pretty much know, I know it. I know what's going on. My enlightenment put me on. I got the lessons. If I show you what I got, you can't say it ain't the lesson. It's the real lesson from us. That's all you really need is make sure you got our stuff from us, and it's us giving it to you and us teaching it to you. You'll be all right. If after this enlightenment gets you to a certain point, then another enlightenment will come and appear and show you the next level.
True indeed, God. And even that's my point. And even to that, I think somebody just commented that. I mean, to your point, it's like our goal with this. We not here to make any virtual connections. Our goal is to connect with these people in these social spaces, and then link those people to gods and earths in the physical. You know what I mean? And connect those people right with the gods and earths on the ground, right in the space, so that you can walk and talk and get the knowledge right from them. You know what I mean? Our end goal is to help.
That, right?
Yes, God. Absolutely.
Yes, I know. Because even if I was here and somebody went to my channel and they was like, L, Vine, this, that, and the third, I'm trying to this, that, and the third, I be like, well, where you at?
Right.
Then when I find out where you at, okay, give me your information and where you at, and then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna talk to my connects, and somebody that I know is gonna know who's down there or wherever you at. And if there's no one, then I try to hold you down until we get you someone. We might not know them yet, but they might appear. I don't know. I'll hold you down, or somebody will hold you down until I try to hold motherfucker down until they get somebody that's an enlightener right there with them. You know, because sometimes they somewhere in bumfuck Egypt, there ain't nobody for 1,000 miles, and they too broke to get to them. It happens. I ain't gonna let nobody not be knowledge of self because they broke. I was broke before.
I can see that. No, I see anything you want to add on to that same point, God.
But no, I mean, that's what it's all about right there. Like you said, just because somebody don't got the means, don't mean that they can't get the knowledge. You know, the best thing, what this costs is the amount of attention you got to pay. You know, as long as you could pay attention and you willing to get the knowledge and do the knowledge, then this is here for you. I mean, that's one of the main reasons of the platform that we have, the 5% connection, you know, to bring about that type of connection, you know, and strive, like you say, to get boots on the ground wherever individuals at to get them knowledge, you know, closest to wherever they at.
True indeed, God. So with that, God, listen, man, we about to get ready to get up out of here. It's been a really, really, really dope podcast, man. I appreciate you, God.
Yo, you know I love talking to y'all. Especially young over there. Cause you know me and you we go back. So
yeah, God, and it's always appreciated.
We had a 3-way. What it is we hit every 10. We hit the 10-year thing. Like every 10, we hit every decade for the lesson. Well, you were a couple of decades way under, but pretty much. He's like so far removed. And we need like 2 more people, like right there, in between you and him. And then we can get the generation going all the way down, you know.
Right.
It's still good that he's that far down. And look, he put together this thing, and man, that's the real shit. Man.
Yo, that's
I thought y'all went away. Well, we obviously not. And this guy, what year was you? The 90s?
Yeah, born knowledge.
Wow.
Yeah. Yo, I remember when the guy had first came with the idea of, you know, getting on this social media thing, and I was behind him 100% from the first time he said it, and I knew, I'm like, yo, God is the one with the energy to make this happen, you know.
Yes,
and at the time, a lot of individuals didn't see it, but I knew it. I'm like, yo, I think that, you know what I'm saying, we need to put everything we got behind the God and, you know, get on it. And that was way early on, you know. And, you know, we just not getting on to it, you know, on some real consistency, and, you know, we'll just keep it going, you know.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, God. I definitely appreciate it, man. So listen, man, God, divine, it has been an absolute pleasure, God, having you with us, man, on the God on Earth Hour podcast, man. We damn near ticking on the 2-hour mark, man. So I don't want to keep you all night, God. I know, like you said, you got to hop on up for that Just Cipher Born, man. Listen, I appreciate everybody out there who been tuning in with us, everybody. Man.
Peace to God.
It's been absolutely dope, man. If you interested in connecting with our culture, man, or getting the knowledge, make sure that you go to the 5percentconnection.com and click the link, enter your information, man, and get it in there, man. And we're going to do everything that we can to get you connected to the gods and the earth wherever you're located at. You also can check out our merch, man, at the knowledgeofselfstore.com. Make sure that you subscribe or follow the channel, man, so you can get tuned in for all of the podcasts, man. Every Tuesday, every Friday, we do our live streams, man, on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, sometimes TikTok, man. So make sure y'all tune in with us, man. I see anything you want to lead the people with?
I just want to say peace and blessings to everybody. You know, we appreciate you. You know, thank you for coming through. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. You know, keep coming back, keep coming through, and give us your advice where you think you want us to go, and some other topics that you may want to hear, and give us your feedback, come with the questions and all that, and we, I appreciate you, we appreciate you, and keep coming through with the support. Peace.
Peace, God. God, anything you want to add on closing, man, and leave out with?
Power equality, Allah, see equality.
I know that's right,
Hey.
man. Peace, God.
Peace,
So
God.
we gonna leave y'all, man, in the same beautiful greeting that we met y'all, and that's peace. Peace, everybody. We'll see y'all on Tuesday, man. Peace.
Can I go around me and through me to get to my father law? But he and I are one and the same. Now you see what must be done before you can be a universal architect.
Universal justice. Balance scale, divine righteous judgment. Not be the black man time. Fuck if you trust this, you gonna feel the positive vibe. Oh, we gon' bust quick. How do you filthy as lies? Young black people need to learn who you are and understand why you're light skin, brown and dark. And always know where the sun get the heat to stay hot. Stand firm in your square and you never will stop. Rock out with your cock out and never drop out. You be the